Hey, it's Meg. Welcome back to my channel. So today's junk journal with me, I'm going to be doing days 22 and 23 of the junk journal July prompts. Now here I'm just showing you the fact that I've filled the entire first side of this junk journal. And yes, I'm only halfway through this journal, so we are going to be doing some interesting spreads, I think, on the second half of this journal because in an effort to try and make sure that I didn't run out of pages, I think I have too many pages. So we're going to see how we can fill up the rest of this journal, but we're working on these days' prompts. So the prompt for day 22 is timeless, and I just wanted to do something that had a really classic feel, I think, and something that would be timeless. So I decided to print out these vintage like florals onto book paper. So these are from the Graphics Fairy, and I stuck my book paper onto some printer paper. So I just glued it round the edges a little bit so that my printer wouldn't eat the book paper, because this is actually quite thin for book paper, and also it's not A4 size, and I am not getting into the territory of trying to figure out how my printer prints anything other than A4 printer paper. So I just stuck it down in exactly the same way as I've done when I've printed onto tracing paper, and it worked out beautifully. I am absolutely obsessed with the way that this one in particular has printed out. So you might catch me printing out everything onto book pages now, because I have so many book pages that I think that this would be a great way to use them up. And also, if you don't like fussy cutting, then this is the perfect way to get that fussy cut look without fussy cutting. So it's a bit of a shortcut. So yeah, it's definitely something that I think I'm going to be doing some more of, and maybe experimenting with different ways that I can use this sort of principle to have different embellishments and backgrounds and things to add to my journals. So I did print them larger than the journal pages that I've actually got, because I just wanted something that was quite high impact and, not gonna lie, that would fill up some space. Like I said, I'm working with probably more pages than I need to for the rest of this journal, and I want it to hopefully perfectly line up that I'm finishing the last page of this journal for the last prompt. So we'll see how we go, but I'd love to know if you are taking part in this challenge. How are you getting on? Are you like me and you've got more pages than you've got prompts for, or are you running out of pages and frantically trying to tip them in and make more space for your journal? I think sometimes even if you count out the number of pages, so if you had, say, 31 pages for 31 prompts, sometimes I just think that I have different ideas that I want to do. So I'm like, oh, I actually just want to work on one page today. And then all of a sudden that sort of throws off the like calculations of how many pages to how many prompts. Or if I tip something in, then that's like adding a bonus page as well. Or sometimes I'm going over like one spread and a half, so that's eating into that quota. So I just, rather than doing the maths of what I'm going to need, I'm just going to work in the journal and enjoy doing it. And if I have some space left over, then maybe we can do a bit of like, I don't know, repeating some of the prompts to see what we can create for the rest of the pages. Maybe I'll just leave it blank. There's no rule to say that we have to fill up all the pages. So I'm just going to journal how I want to, because I don't want it to impact me too much. Like, I don't want to constantly be thinking about what I want to do for how many pages. Like, I just want to enjoy the process of it. And I think that's why I wasn't as bothered about realizing that I'd hit the halfway point, like way after the halfway point, because I had enjoyed the pages that I had made where I'd done like half spreads, or I'd added in tip-ins, I'd added in pockets. Like one of the pages, I just did a tag for the prompt. So of course I was never going to fill like a double page spread for a tag. Do you know what I mean? So there's different ways that you can approach the prompts, and it's all just about having fun in our journals at the end of the day. So I'm not worried about the fact that I've got loads of journal pages left. It just means I've got more space to work out what I want to do for the different prompts.
Close your eyes, get some rest. I'm by your side. Lay your head on my chest. I know you've had a really bad day, but I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay. Calm your soul, hold my hand, don't let go. I understand. I know it hurts, it wasn't fair. It's over now, so don't despair. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay.
So for day 23's prompt of tipping, I knew I wanted to add something that was not the same size as the journal page that I had. So I originally just had this scrap of brown paper. I think it was from a bag, and I thought, perfect, it's the right size to use for this journal. I'll just add it in. So I added it in with washi tape on both sides, and this is on the fold of the journal where it kind of goes into both spreads rather than being in the middle of a page, if that makes sense. So I figured I would work on both sides of this one like as I'm working on it now. And what I ended up doing was actually extending it with different paper scraps, so like some tissue paper-esque material, some scrapbook paper. I'm adding like washi stickers here, all sorts of different things just to add that scrappy feel to this. And I really liked the collage effect that gave, and the unevenness of the way that it turned out, because I think it looks really eclectic, and it was just fun to put together because I didn't really have a plan in my head of what I actually wanted to do for this. I just knew that I was doing a tip in, and so that's one of the fun things about these prompts sometimes, is that when you don't know what you want to create, being given a prompt kind of helps you to have that piece of something to get the ball rolling. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to create, but I'm creating a tip in. So I just started working on a tip in and just let my brain kind of figure out what it wanted to do, and I didn't overthink it too much. I just sort of grabbed whatever I was feeling like, and using some different colours, things that I don't always like lean towards, like the sort of blues and yellows. which I think went together quite nicely actually. So it was just fun to play around with the different patterns and the different textures and just let it come together on the page itself without, like I said, overthinking it too much, because at the end of the day, it's just a prompt page in my junk journal, and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's all just about showing up and having this creative practice, I think. So the actual concept itself of having like a scrappy tip in where I'm stapling papers to the edges and nothing's even, that's something that I think I will definitely take into other things that I create, because I really like the way that it looks. So that is everything for my double junk journal with me for the prompts of timeless and tip in. So I hope you enjoyed journaling along with me. I really like the way that these pages turned out, and like I said, I'm looking forward to working in the second half of this journal.